Hello, everybody, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Chef Leah Pryor. I'm the executive chef here at the University of Vermont Medical Center, and we are going to be talking about herbs and spices, how we use them, when they're fresh, how we can store them, all of good things, all about herbs and spices. So let's first talk about herbs. Here are a beautiful selection of herbs that I have here. I have dried, which you can see here, and I also have some fresh. Now, when we are using fresh herbs, we always want to use them at the end when we're finishing something, right? So say we have a beautiful pasta and we want to add some basil. We'd want to use that fresh basil at the end, right before we serve. Say we're making a spaghetti sauce for that beautiful pasta and we want to put some dried herbs. We'd want to put those dried herbs at the beginning when we're sauteing off those onions, because we need those, because they're dried, they need some oil because they're fat soluble. So they infuse the flavor of the oil to make the foundation of sauce. So I have here for my herbs, for my fresh herbs, I have some rosemary. Ooh, love rosemary. Wonderful toppings for focaccia or to make a nice marinade for meats or tofu or chicken. We have some sage right here, ready for my garden soon. Hopefully I can get it into the ground soon, but I think it might be frosting. Basil and dill. So these fresh herbs, the best way to keep them fresh, I like to do is I'll take a piece of paper towel, I'll take my lovely dill, and then I just have a little bit of water here. I'm just going to put a little bit of the water right onto the lovely paper towel. I'm just going to roll it up to make like a little blanket for the herbs. This is a really good way to store your herbs in your fridge to keep them fresh so you can use them throughout the week. So there we go. Beautiful. It's a good trick. Now, let's talk about spices. Spices is kind of a funny thing, class. I like to talk, or I like to ask the class, how many people have moved with their spices? And most people will say, oh, I've definitely moved with my spices. I definitely have as well. But this was before I understood that spices actually have an expiration date. Spices will lose their flavor and their nutritional value over time. So the next time you decide to pack up your home, if you're going to move, don't bring your spices with you. Start fresh. All right. So right here, I have another beautiful plate of spices. And as you can see, spices are super varied, right? We have some turmeric, we have some ginger, curry, some cayenne, some cinnamon. We also have a little bit of hot pepper flake, which is a spice, but it hasn't been ground yet. And if you think about it, if you ground this hot pepper flake, you'd actually make cayenne. So it's just like, it's a different version of that. Another example I have here is a spiced blend. All right, so this is actually a Trinidadian curry mix that I have here. I hope you guys can see how beautiful and varied it is. Just put a little bit of this on my hand. This is actually right before we would actually put it into a spice grinder to turn into a powder. So I have some chili, some fennel, some turmeric, some bay leaf, all sorts of fun stuff to make that curry. Ooh, that is so yummy smelling. So what can we do with our herbs and spices? A lot of times we're always talking about adding more fruits and vegetables into our diet. And we forget that actually herbs, they are a vegetable. They're full of phytonutrients that our body needs. So anytime you think that, oh, that just looks like garnish, actually it's really good for you and it's a good way to get that in. So any sauces or soups, it's good to finish with a whole bunch of maybe some basil or some cilantro at the end. Could be very delicious. I'm going to show you a quick little thing that I like to do when I'm using my herbs and spices. Just a little fun for you guys is I'm going to make a little dipping oil for a beautiful baguette that I've just bought earlier today. Yummy. Love bread. Put that right here. So I'm going to make an infused oil. And this is a good time for us to discuss the importance of oil with herbs and spices, because our dried herbs and spices, they need the fat from the oil to actually infuse their flavor. So this is a really good example of how that happens. So we got some extra virgin olive oil, good for tasting and eating. So we're just gonna fill this bowl up. Look how pretty that oil is. See? So nice and rich and yellow. Give it a good smell. Remember, don't cook on high heat with your extra virgin olive oil because we're just gonna be throwing money out the door. Extra virgin olive oil is good for dipping, right? And for garnishing and for marinades. So here it is. We have our olive oil. I have a clove of garlic, which I'm just going to peel quickly. Maybe I'll try to peel quickly, see what happens. Actually, I think I need my knife to give it a good smack. There it is, popped out of its little cocoon. I have my favorite microplane, which makes light work of grating garlic. I'm just gonna grate this garlic up. And I'm gonna, do you see all that beautiful garlic paste? Nice and easy. Pop that right in. To that, get my spoon. I'm going to add some parsley. Voila. Some fennel seed. I like fennel seed. We're gonna have a little bit of oregano, a little thyme. We all need thyme, right? It's a punny joke. A little hot pepper flake, because I enjoy a little hot pepper flake. To that, I'm gonna add a little salt and a few cracks of black pepper. Voila. Give that a stir. Now at this point, we can also add a little bit of our fresh herbs. So I'm going to take a little bit of this sprig of this lovely rosemary. I'm just going to pick off the stems, pop it right in there. When you start to really handle rosemary, the oils of the rosemary, just delicious. Give that a little stir. And there you are. We have a beautiful infused garlic oil with herbs that we are going to now take a little cut off this crusty bread. Let's see to get that through. My knife wasn't very sharp, I guess. We're just going to tear this up, give it a little taste. Now, when we're doing this, this is something you can have in your fridge, you can keep out. It will only get better with age. All right, so it will start to infuse all of those beautiful flavors into the oil. And it's really lovely to serve with a crusty French bread just like this. Fantastically delicious. So remember, when we're using our fresh herbs and spices, be sure to buy what you need if you're going to be buying in bulk. Because remember, there's expiration on that because it's going to lose its vitality. Use fresh at the end before you're serving your dish, and use dried at the beginning when you're beginning it, so you can really infuse the flavors of those herbs and spices at the beginning. So, great tips. Eat your greens. It was good seeing you all. Have a great day.